just want to make an opening statement on today's spring game.
Yeah, I thought a pretty great atmosphere. When you think about it, when we pulled in, those parking lots were packed, and then to look up in the stands and to see, all the students here and families here, and then on the field for them to have that access to get down and meet all the players, hang out, and have a chance to interact, I thought was a really good day. It was what we were hoping for. The weather cooperated, but I think it gave all of us a little bit of a taste of what a game day's like. And I know it's not, anywhere really near that, but at the same point, it gives you a little, opening feel of what we're going to be in for, come September, and I'm glad we were able to get that done. And I was, again, most importantly, glad to be able to have the interaction with all the fans and everything after, which was great.
You talked about wanting to get the band there to challenge the players to play through it, and then you brought them down the offense and had them start at the 1 yard line. How do you think they handled that noise?
I think they did a great job. Nobody jumped off sides on offense or defense. We didn't really go backwards. We were able to dig ourselves out of that hole, and I thought we executed really well. And as I was talking with our band director, I was like, he's like, I don't think I could play during the. I was like, no, you are here to do that. So just let it rip. So it was great to see, their excitement and engagement.
What did you see from the offense today? We'll talk about defense in a sec, but just on that side of the ball in terms of execution.
I thought we did a nice job. There was a couple of really clean run plays. We hit a couple of things inside that I thought opened up really nicely, and our guys did a good job of putting their pads down, protecting the football. Like, there wasn't really any turnovers, as we went through today. There wasn't even anything that looked like the ball was coming loose. So that's a big emphasis for us. And I know defensively, just got to do a little more to get that ball out. But I thought we executed nicely. There was a couple drives in there. Again, talk about fan engagement. I thought it was fun for those two guys to be able to call the offense and defense, and I thought they did a really good job. So I thought offense line held up. Quarterbacks did a good job. We protected the football. We pushed it downfield when we could. Missed a couple throws, but overall, I thought nice catch in the corner of the end by Dylan as well, which was great to see.
What have you seen out of Dylan just kind of all spring? It seemed like that was like it was a big play and one of the memorable plays in this game today.
Yeah, well, we talk a lot about at some point in time that light shines on you, and when it does, you either get revealed for all the work you've done, or you get exposed for the work you didn't do. And that's a guy that makes those catches, routinely every single day. So it was really great to see him be out there and be able to put that on display here a little bit today.
Can you talk a little bit about having Harry out there to pump up the crowd?
Yeah. I still don't know what he asked me on the first question, to be honest with you, but it was fun. It was really fun to be out there and fun to be around. And I thought that microphone on the field helped us, everybody understand this is the final play. This is the 2-point play at the end of the game. And I thought the fans did a great job of getting involved in it. And having him around, he seemed really fun. He was a little disappointed he couldn't swing a couple with Ryan at the end of the game, but we'll get him back out here to be able to do that.
You had a couple of young members of your secondary step up and make plays today, Spivey, Regan, Flo. Can you talk about how that room has developed throughout the spring?
Yeah, I thought Spivey did a really good job, right? He had a good breakup. He had one down the sideline. He missed the tackle, but he did a couple other things in it that I thought stood out. Let's just talk about Regan and Flo for a minute. Those are two guys that you watch Chase out there command that defense. He should be in geometry class right now and heading to his prom this weekend, right? And instead, he gave a lot of those guys that showed up second semester, they gave up that opportunity to enjoy your second semester senior year of high school, where you're the absolute alpha and the big dog that lived in that school, and you give it up to come here to sacrifice and put yourself in a position to start building a foundation within the scheme, within this team, and start to get your place settled on this roster. And I had a great meeting with those guys the other day, and that was a big thing we talked about, is you guys, what you're going through right now, what you're doing, is something that not a lot of people would sacrifice and give up to come do. So, just there's challenges, there's ups and downs, but I thought both of them played really well, and I thought a lot of the other young guys did as well today.
What does it say about them as competitors that they are willing to give that up to come here and try and get better?
Yeah, it's not just them. There's the handful. There's 9 or 10 of them, I think, that showed up here mid-year, and all of them. I just, I don't know if I could do that. I admire them that they're willing to, again, walk away from that second semester high school senior year where they finally are the guy and give that up. It speaks volumes of their unselfishness. It speaks volumes of their desire to join this team and to get their place on this team. And I'm just, really, thankful that they did it and their parents support them to do that.
With just how new everything's been this season, how important has the spring been for you guys?
Very important. I think we went through winter. Again, we talked about the other day, but we went through winter to start laying the foundation of the way we're going to communicate and compete. And then we went from that into the spring. We got into the spring, and then we start off with just, trying to run as many plays as we can and make practice as hard as we can, almost worse than a game condition could be. And then we start to really get locked in on the scheme, and then we switch it to more game-like scenarios and situations and less 8, 12, 15 play drives and more to 3 and outs, 4 and outs, those kind of things, and really let's see and trust and understand what technique we've developed up to that point in time, and then also what situational awareness we have. We knew we were going to be fundamentally sound, but the situational awareness, I think, showed up a little bit today as well.
With so many new faces, chemistry-wise, what are some of the things you want to see the players get together more? I know Jacob mentioned the name test. What other things you think you want to do for people?
There's a lot now because once we shift gears, so we'll get one more good weekend. We'll get a little bit of, depending on when people's finals are. We have a couple other community service events that we're getting involved in here coming up in the following week. But then after that, they break away for a little bit. They head home, they get away from the team, and then they all come back together again. And when we do that, we'll have a little bit more time in the summer than maybe what we did in the spring, as far as classes and everything else are concerned. So we'll get the lifting and the running and those things done in the morning, but then we have to be able to spend more time doing things together. Paintball, amusement parks, going to a pool, just getting out here and playing some, just anything that brings people together, because chemistry can only be developed over time, right, spent with each other. So you have to do that, and I think that we had a really good breakfast today with some of our bigger donors that are willing to help continue to support our team on that entertainment front so that they could, again, just spend time on different events and just, again, be around each other a little bit more than we have in the past.
You talk about the college football playoff, and Dylan mentioned it as well, that's the end goal. Can you elaborate as to how you all are trying to get there?
Well, yeah, very similar to the, the blueprint that was laid here, last year. There's going to be tight games. You're going to have to find ways to play competitive football and win when it matters the most. You're going to have elite quarterback play. You're going to have a very sound defense and pursuit to take the ball away. You're going to have to do all those things, and there's going to be this toughness that when it matters the most and we need to run the football, the other team knows that we're running the football, the whole stadium knows we're running the football, and we got to be able to run the football. So those are the things that I think help us get to that moment, but you're going to have to win some tight ones, and you have to put yourself in position to probably come out of this thing with a pretty unblemished record as you move a little bit forward. So, it's a tall task, but it's one that I think all of our guys are setting their sights on to some level. We'll talk about that a little bit with what we want to do with our preparation, but then it is so irrelevant when we walk into Charlotte on day one, right? That is the most important thing we can do is prepare for that game that week. And then the same one when we come here next week. And then when we move on a little further to UNC. Like, all that matters is one game at a time, and one day at a time when we move forward with it. So it's nice to have a big, goal that we're all shooting for and maybe is in the back of our minds, but it shouldn't change a single thing we do from day to day as far as our preparation and our performance.
You guys had
Last question.
You guys had a couple different compete periods, but I think the one that maybe caught the fans off guard was the big man catching.
Yeah.
Can you talk about both of them making the catch, but then
Yes.
Emmanuel Bush running down the field and diving into the end zone?
Well, that was unexpected. We were actually going to try to see the first guy that could get to 3 catches, but he turned the whole drill upside down and took off with the ball. And, it was pretty fun to watch him do that with the whole team behind on the big screen. That was his moment, man. That was his moment to let it rip, and he did just that. So it was fun to watch him. And then Jesse had no choice but to do the same thing. So it was pretty cool to put them on the spot and let them compete a little bit too and have fun.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.